Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Happy Friday. Hope you've had a great week so far. Again, the week and the year and the month is flying by. We are already now approaching the end of July. Just as a reminder, the theme for this month has been establishing boundaries and assertiveness. We're in week 4, and the theme for this week is maintaining healthy boundaries. Now, as we've been discussing this week and in the previous years, establishing your boundaries is so important because it allows you to plug the leak of your self-esteem, self-respect, and confidence. And so today I'd like to share with you a portion of a lecture by Dr. Aziz, who is technically a specialist on social anxiety and related topics. Now, I've shared this with you because in this video he's talking about the right, your own right, I should say, and your own ability to stand up for yourself, to defend yourself. This is boundaries in action. It's so important that you are able to stand up for yourself, to represent yourself, to honor yourself. Because if you're unable to do that, then other people will not be able to follow suit. Your respect for yourself is a demonstration of how you expect other people to treat you, and that is our responsibility. But if you've grown up with insufficient parenting, a lack of connection, support, and so forth, there are many different skills you need to learn to develop along the way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and listen to Dr. Aziz.
There is one major reason why most people don't stand up for themselves and why most people I talk to are afraid to push back. Even when someone says something that might be offensive, inappropriate, challenging, critiquing in an unhelpful way, most people just take it. And they're telling themselves one specific thing that keeps them silent. And it seems to make so much sense. It seems like it's wise and reasonable. And this becomes a gag order. And it was something that kept me silent and prevented me from speaking up in even unhealthy situations for several decades in my life. And you're gonna discover exactly what that is and how to really give yourself full permission to speak up, defend yourself, communicate, be bold and powerful and assertive. It's actually way more accessible than you think. And that this one line is preventing you from doing it. It's one fear. And I'm gonna give it to you right now. People are afraid of being, quote, defensive. I hear this all the time. So someone says something to me at work. They challenge me. They're saying something in a negative way, a hostile way even. It's like, well, why didn't you push back? Why don't you say, I don't like that, or no, I disagree, or whatever. And they're like, well, I just don't want to get upset. And okay, so you're gonna like throw a chair at them? Well, no, but I'm just gonna sound defensive. I don't want to get defensive. In fact, that becomes part of how people control other people. So let's say you start to speak up and someone says, whoa, stop being defensive. You're being defensive. And then we instantly stop. Oh, you're right. Oh, well, that was the code word. I can't do that. You're right. And we never stop to question what's actually happening there, what we're actually allowed to do, what's healthy, what's effective in both leadership, workplace situations, romantic relationships, family situations. This comes up everywhere. And so we don't even need someone to tell us don't be defensive. Beforehand, right in the moment where you could start speaking up, you silence yourself out of the fear of getting upset and being, quote, defensive. So I want to clear this up right now, and it's going to give you a powerful way to be so much more free. And I learned this the hard way personally. I had multiple experiences in my life, but 2 stand out that were brutal because I didn't stand up for myself. And I'm not talking about, I don't know, someone's a little rude to you at a restaurant, the waiter or server is rude, and you're like, I'm gonna stand up for myself. You come back here. You don't talk to me that way. Like, okay, I don't know, maybe just let that kind of stuff go. I'm talking about situations that are like real problematic, where somebody is putting their stuff on me. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they're kind of spewing at you. Something's going on with them. They're on their own trip. They are upset about something, or they're hurt about something, or they had some expectation of you that you didn't necessarily even agree with, but they had that in their mind. And so now they're coming at you like, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And I had 2 situations like that. Once was when I was in a consulting group with several other therapists, and I was excited at that time because I was expanding in my career and I was writing a book, about to release a book, actually my first one, The Solution to Social Anxiety, and moving into a coaching practice. And I was moving out of therapy into working with people in groups, working with people all over the world, put my ideas out there, and I was excited and I was sharing, and I thought it was great. I was like, hey guys, I'm taking these healing tools that we got and I'm using them in new ways. It's gonna be amazing. And they like freaked out on me in the most calm therapy kind of way. They, no one threw a chair, but it was like, And one by one, there was 4 of us, right? One by one, each of them had to have like a 5 or 7 minute turn where they're like, Aziz, I'm really concerned for you. And it was like all these barbed comments, like, why are you pursuing this? Is this coming from greed? Why would you want to do this thing? Isn't coaching bad? And they had all their ideas from back in the day, and I don't know if it's still the case, but in my therapy training, there was a bit of a turf battle. The psychologists didn't like the coaches because the coaches could be like, hey, I'm a coach now. And they didn't have to go through like 7 years of training and spend a bunch of money and get all this stuff. Psychologists didn't like that, right? So there's a lot of tension already in the field about it. So maybe that was coming out. Maybe they had their own issues around money or charging or I don't know. You don't need to know. But in the moment, I was like, this is weird. What are they doing? Why are we having this conversation? But I just said to myself, hey, Aziz, you can't be defensive. You just gotta, that's bad. Being defensive is bad. Always bad to be defensive. And I just took it. You ever done that? And I played the role of like I'm being so calm and non-defensive and wise. But that's not real. It's not authentic. It's not actually healthy. And then you know what happens? And you'll know this if you've done exactly what I've done here. It's not over after that conversation. Oh no, it's just beginning. And then it's me in my head with these three guys for the next 3 weeks. I should have said that, I should have said this, and I'm like upset and I'm hurt and I'm angry, right? The conflict wasn't resolved in the moment because I didn't say what needed to be said. I didn't have a healthy boundary. I didn't do anything, just took it. And all that energy and all that conflict is now storming around inside of me. And so that is just one example of, I'd say, a toxic situation that comes from a fear of being defensive. And despite all of that, I didn't walk away thinking, next time I'm gonna do something different. I just thought, that was really rough and that was really hard and I was hurt and all that. It took me many years and having a whole other experience just like that. I'm not gonna tell you all the details of. Very similar. It was a one-on-one with somebody and they just went. I listened to them for like 40 minutes trying to help them feel heard. And it was after that second time where again, I was carrying it for 3 weeks afterwards that I realized something. I said, wait a minute. In those situations, it's not being defensive, it's defending myself. And those are two very different things. And one is actually extremely necessary and healthy. So being defensive, and we gotta really contain the definition because it's spread, especially in all kinds of therapy world and personal growth world and all this stuff where defensive is bad. Oh yeah, don't be defensive. Always be open to feedback. Always? Everyone's? Like if you were walking down the street and some guy popped out from behind a dumpster and was like, you're the devil. I should take in that feedback. That's really important. I gotta sit with myself. Am I embodying demonic traits? Am I evil? Do you need to? And you're like, you know what?
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, you can find the link in the show notes to listen to the remainder of this video in its entirety. We've only listened to about 50%, so there's a lot left of value for you to gain in listening to this video. Now, I've selected this as we close in at the end of July to remind myself that I have the right to stand up for myself. I have the responsibility, I have even the duty to stand up for myself and my inner child. It is my responsibility. I must demonstrate to my inner child that I deserve respect, care, and affection, love, acceptance, belonging. These are all things that we all deserve. And if you've grown up in a dysfunctional family, it might be difficult to believe that you authentically deserve those things without extending extra effort or effort or work that you have to do to be basically just receiving basic respect. That's way too much effort. If you are at that place where you feel like you have to go on overdrive to receive basic respect, you are in the wrong environment. And if you're growing up with parents who treated you that way, and then you realize that this environment of growing up with your parents was the toxic environment, it is truly earth-shattering. Because that means you have to begin to rebuild from scratch, basically. But you deserve to respect yourself, and you deserve to honor yourself. You deserve to be assertive, to have your needs. And before we can really bring into fruition the theme of this month, which is establishing assertiveness and boundaries, you must first of all define who you are. What are your boundaries? What are your limits? And most importantly, even after that, is how do you respond when someone crosses those? So as we take some time to look at the reflection questions for this week. Number 1. In what situations do you feel most capable and prepared to uphold and enforce your boundaries? To uphold and enforce your boundaries. Number 2, where do you feel less capable of being able to uphold your boundaries? For example, a long-term friendship from middle school or elementary school, and you feel bad for establishing your boundaries because they've been a friend for so long and you have so many other benefits. But if the pain that they're causing is worse than the benefit that you're receiving, that is a boundary. So where do you have most difficulty to implement that? And third, where do you think that you stand to gain the most benefit from establishing more robust and respectful boundaries in your life for yourself and for how others treat you? That's it for today. Normally I don't do these reflection questions on the Friday Fireside Chat, but I thought to mention them because it's something that's been so important for me on this journey, and it's been something that's been coming up repeatedly. As always, I wish you a great weekend. Have fun, take care of yourself, and please do be well. The most important thing you can do this weekend is to learn how to have fun. As I say every single weekend, the most important thing you can do in your life is to learn how to have fun. So thanks again for joining me on this week of reparenting. And I hope you have a great weekend. And don't forget to check out the new Fairy Tales for Reparenting, coming out every single Saturday on YouTube. I'll see you soon. Take care, and please do be well.